Directed attention is a finite resource, and when we run out of it, we get what psychologists call attention fatigue. We feel irritable, impulsive, and overwhelmed. Nature, on the other hand, triggers a state called soft fascination. When you watch a stream flow over rocks, look at clouds drifting across the sky, or listen to the wind rustling through the leaves, your brain doesn't have to work to concentrate. The environment naturally holds your attention in a gentle, effortless way. Midlife in Motion is the podcast for women who want to reclaim their metabolism, maintain their mobility, and recognize their divine worth. I'm your host, Angie, fitness and yoga instructor, body confidence, and menopause coach. This show bridges the gap between science and soul. We move beyond quick fixes to discuss the real pillars of longevity. Get ready to start dancing into midlife. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here today. We are going to talk about a very specific type of exhaustion. I want you to picture your typical Tuesday. You wake up to a blaring alarm, stare at a glowing phone screen, commute in a metal box, sit under fluorescent lights for 8 hours, and come home to wind down maybe in front of another screen. We are the first generation of humans to spend 90 to 95% of our lives entirely indoors, and our biology is panicking. You might feel a constant low-grade anxiety, a brain fog that won't lift, or a sleep cycle that feels completely broken. We tend to blame this on our jobs, or our to-do lists, or our lack of willpower. But what if the root cause isn't your schedule? What if your nervous system is just profoundly homesick for the natural world? Today, we're diving into the science of nature therapy, also known as ecotherapy or forest bathing. This episode is ReWilding Confidence, and no, that's not a typo. We are going to explore how stepping outside eases stress, regulates your nervous system, and permanently anchors your circadian rhythm so you can connect with your inner confidence. Let's start with your nervous system. Humans evolved outdoors for hundreds of thousands of years. Our brains are hardwired to feel safe in natural environments. Biologist E.O. Wilson called this biophilia hypothesis, the idea that humans have an innate biological instinct to connect with nature. When you are surrounded by concrete, traffic noise, and pinging notifications, your brain perceives that chaotic environment as a subtle threat. Your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode, stays constantly activated, pumping out adrenaline and cortisol. But the moment you stepped into a forest, a park, or even just sit under a large tree, a biological switch flips. Studies show that spending just 20 minutes in a natural environment dramatically activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest state. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your muscle tension releases. You aren't just relaxing, you are signaling to your most primitive brain that the bear is gone and you are finally safe. So how exactly does nature lower our stress and clear our brain fog? It comes down to how we use our attention. In our modern lives, we use something called directed attention. This is the intense, focused energy it takes to read a spreadsheet, answer emails, or navigate traffic. Directed attention is a finite resource, and when we run out of it, we get what psychologists call attention fatigue. We feel irritable, impulsive, and overwhelmed. Nature, on the other hand, triggers a state called soft fascination. When you watch a stream flow over rocks, look at clouds drifting across the sky, or listen to the wind rustling through the leaves, your brain doesn't have to work to concentrate. The environment naturally holds your attention in a gentle, effortless way. This state of soft fascination acts like a reset button for your prefrontal cortex. It literally allows the stress centers of your brain to power down and recharge. Isn't that amazing? Nature therapy isn't just visual, it's chemical. In Japan, the practice of forest bathing is an integral part of preventative healthcare system. Researchers discovered that trees and plants release airborne essential oils called PHYTONCIDEs. These chemicals protect the plants from insects and rot. But when humans breathe them in, the effects are incredible. breathing in phytonicides has been scientifically proven to reduce the stress hormone cortisol, lower blood sugar levels, and actually increase the activity of your body's natural killer cells, the white blood cells that fight off viruses and tumors. The forest is literally breathing medicine into your lungs. Now that you understand the chemistry of the forest, let's talk about how to actually forest bathe. Most high-achieving women treat forest bathing like a workout. They put on their fitness trackers, lace up their hiking boots, and head up a trail with the goal of getting their heart rate up or hitting a certain step count. This is hiking, not forest bathing. I will admit that much of my outdoor time is spent hiking, but it is nice when I can slow down and just enjoy being in nature. Forest bathing has no destination, no pace, and no physical goal. It is not about exercise. It is about immersion. It is about taking a bath in the sensory experience of the nature around you. If you want to practice true forest bathing this week, here is a 4-step protocol. Step 1, disconnect. To reconnect, leave your phone in the car or put it on completely silent and tuck it deep into your backpack. Do not track your steps. Do not listen to a podcast, even this one, and do not take photos for social media. Step 2, the aimless wander. Walk into a wooded area, a park, or a trail and immediately slow your pace down to about 1/4 of your normal speed. Get curious about that patch of moss for 5 minutes. Sit on a rock. Watch the water gently roll over the rocks. Step 3, wake up your senses. This is where the somatic magic happens. Go through your 5 senses one by one to anchor yourself in the present moment. What do you hear? Listen for the layers of sound, the distant wind, a bird, the crunch of leaves under shoes. What do you see? Look for the tiny details, the fractal patterns on a leaf, the way the sunlight filters through the branches, and the texture of tree bark. What do you smell? Breathe deeply through your nose. Can you smell the damp earth, the pine needles, the crispness of the air? What do you feel? Reach out and physically touch your surroundings. Feel the rough texture of a bark, the coolness of a stone, or the breeze on your skin. And step 4 is the sit spot. Close your eyes and just let your environment wash over you. Notice the physical sensations in your own body. Feel your feet pressing into the earth. Notice your breath naturally deepening, and feel the deep state of safety settling into your nervous system. When you practice this, you aren't just looking at nature, you are remembering that you are nature. There is another incredible byproduct of spending time outside that we don't talk about enough. It completely rewires your self-confidence. When we live our lives indoors, we are constantly navigating a world built on evaluation. We are surrounded by mirrors, screens, and subtle societal messages telling us how we should look, how much we should achieve, and how we should age. It can be exhausting. We end up wearing this heavy psychological armor just to get through the day. But nature is what psychologists call a mirrorless environment. When you walk into a forest or sit by a river, the environment expects absolutely nothing from you. A tree does not care about your pant size. A mountain does not care if you checked everything off your to-do list that day. The river does not judge you for needing a nap. Nature accepts you exactly as you are right in this moment. When you immerse yourself in an environment that isn't evaluating you, your nervous system realizes it is safe to drop the armor. You stop hyperfixating on how your body looks and start experiencing how your body feels. You feel the strength of your legs carrying you over a trail. You feel the capacity of your lungs as you take in the fresh air. This shift from being observed by society to simply existing in the natural world builds a deep, quiet sense of self-efficacy. It reminds you that beneath the titles, the roles, and the expectations, you are a strong, capable, and entirely worthy, living, breathing human. You remember that your worth is a fact, not something you have to earn. Now let's talk about your sleep. If you are struggling with insomnia or waking up feeling completely unrefreshed, your circadian rhythm, which is your body's internal 24-hour clock, might just be out of sync. The circadian clock is driven by one main thing: light. Indoor lighting is incredibly dim compared to the sun. A bright lit office might have about 500 lux. A cloudy day outdoors has about 10,000, and direct sunlight has over 100,000 lux. When you step outside first thing in the morning and get natural sunlight in your eyes, it triggers a biological cascade. It stops the production of melatonin, that sleepy hormone, and spikes a healthy morning level of cortisol, telling your brain the day has begun. This is when we want the cortisol to hit. More importantly, that morning light sets a timer. Exactly 12 to 14 hours later, your brain will naturally release a surge of melatonin to help you fall asleep. This is when we don't want the cortisol to be hitting. If you don't get outside, your brain never gets that loud, clear signal that it's daytime, which means it won't know when it's time to sleep. Nature is the anchor that keeps your biological clock from drifting. Let's take this one step deeper. Beyond the biology, the cortisol levels, and the circadian rhythms, there is a profound spiritual component to spending time in nature that we cannot ignore. When we are trapped in the hustle of modern life, our nervous systems are so loud and our minds so cluttered that it becomes incredibly difficult to feel connected to the divine. We try to pray, meditate, or seek spiritual guidance while sitting in traffic or scrolling on our phones. But the static of the human world is just too high. We can't hear the whisper because the world is shouting. Nature is the original sanctuary. When you step into a forest, sit by a lake, or look up at the night sky, you are stepping into a space that was not built by human hands. You are immersing yourself directly in creation. We talked earlier about how nature shifts your brain into a state of soft fascination. In a spiritual context, that state of soft fascination is actually awe. Awe is the ultimate bridge between the physical body and the spiritual realm. When you look at the vastness of a mountain range or the intricate, perfect veins of a single leaf, your ego naturally shrinks. Your daily worries, your to-do lists, and your frustrations suddenly feel very small in the context of this grand, intelligent design. You remember that you are held by something infinitely larger and more loving than yourself. You cannot force a spiritual connection when your body feels unsafe and rushed. But when you let the phytonicides of the trees lower your heart rate, and you let the rhythm of the water slow your breathing, your body finally feels safe enough to open up. By regulating your nervous system in nature, you aren't just healing your physical burnout, you are creating a quiet, sacred container within yourself where you can feel connected to and commune with God. You are stepping away from the noise of the world so you can finally listen and hear the divine. Nature therapy is most effective when it is a daily micro habit. So your homework this week is to implement that 10-minute morning anchor. Get outside in the morning, let the natural light hit your eyes, and just allow your body to land into the day. Put your bare feet on the grass if you can. Let the natural light hit your eyes without sunglasses and just allow yourself to exist in a state of soft fascination. If you lack access to morning sunlight, consider using a Sleep Foundation Bright Light Therapy Guide to help you find an appropriate therapy lamp. Now, while you don't need to pack a tent and go completely off-grid to heal your nervous system, but if you get the chance to do it, you absolutely should take it. In fact, that is exactly what I'm about to do. This weekend, I'm packing up and heading out on a camping trip with my family. I'm going to be practicing what I preached to you today. I'm heading to the lake. We're going to spend the days paddling, tubing down the river, having outdoor cookouts, and most importantly, keeping my phone on completely silent and tucked away in a bag. I am giving myself the gift of total presence with the people I love, and I'm letting my nervous system drink in that deep safety of the natural world. No notifications, no digital distractions, just the sound of the water and the trees. You can too. Start with your 10 minutes tomorrow morning. Stop trying to heal your burnout from the confines of your living room. Step outside, breathe in the earth's medicine, and let your body remember where she belongs. And maybe I'll see you out there. Have an incredible week, and I will see you when I'm back from the river. You are building a foundation for the next 40 plus years of your life, brick by brick, breath by breath. You are a miracle. Treat yourself like one. If you know a woman who needs to hear this, please share this episode and remember to subscribe. I'm Angie Collingwood. Keep moving and dancing. This is Midlife in Motion. I'll see you soon.